on launch. GC, go. Guidance, go. Fido, go. Prop, go. GNC, go. Max, go. Eagle, go. Ecom,
go. Pending final steps to cabin link check.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Riff Nation Network, the RNN, putting a slide in your glide and a dip in your hip. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe. With shows throughout the week, you can find us at Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Everything you could want, everything you can need right here, right now. From the paranormal to the supernatural. From comedy to the spiritual. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
It's showtime, folks!
Podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
I'm sharing us out.
I think I got that done.
Yes.
I think.
You think us?
I
You
think.
thought us? You thunk us.
You think Kivas?
I don't. Where am I at? Here I am.
The middle?
In the middle.
I'm in the middle. So far, nobody's in chat. That's okay. So, welcome you two to another wonderful edition of the Otters Den with your hosts, me, Keith, and Jan, and Renee.
Well, hello, Howie.
We got to find the
Hello.
what do you mean we got to find the intro?
I don't know, but I got to open up this window.
Okay, do it to it. Hey, Chris. Hey, Della. How you doing?
Well, if it has to do with your music. Hi, Mama Newsom. We have to wait till Mr. Kelly Meyer has your unique thing.
If it's the music you're talking about, Howie, I've actually got a musician writing me a song. So I'm currently waiting for that. So that will be mine. That nobody can.
Mine. Like the little Nemo. Mine. Or was it the seagulls?
Seagulls, yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right, and I am done sharing out.
Oh,
So how was everybody's? Oh, before we get started, I would like to take a
Yes.
moment of silence for those in Texas.
Yes.
Yes,
I knew
please.
that.
I can't imagine.
That'd be horrible.
It's awful. We never, as parents who have lost children, never ever want to watch somebody else lose a child. I don't care if it's your worst enemy, if it's somebody you don't know. You know, you never want that for another parent. And that's been heavy on my heart since the flooding, and it's so close to where I'm at, and it's just that's awful. Thank the first responders, the sheriff's department, police, fire, everybody that's going in.
All of
Absolutely.
Takes that toll.
Thank you, Mama Newsom.
So how was everybody's fourth other than that?
Girl. Actually,
That I can remember. Good. So,
It was just good.
but it was good.
hey, how you doing?
It was good.
Hey, Dominic.
I was. We got invited to. How do I say this? Our chair for what I do for my extracurricular activity with my son, Boy Scouts. I got invited to his house, so we were there. So it was fun. He was out on the water all day. He was taking all the little kids out.
Nice.
See, first he did the paddle boat, then he come back in, then he puts them all in the canoe, then he comes back, puts them all in the rowboat. So he was out
Cool.
in the water.
I apologize. I will be right back. I just realized I forgot to. These are my work glasses, and I can't.
I was gonna say
them,
your glasses.
So I'm gonna
don't
go get my
cover.
new glasses so I can read the comments. I'll be right back.
My message deleted itself. I don't know. Let's just say weird things happen on weird platforms.
Yeah, that
Let's-
yeah. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
My fourth was dealing with the dog.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
she
Hi, Denise.
was not happy at all. Heavy panting in my face, shaking. It was. She doesn't like fireworks.
Thank you.
You've got blue flame of purple fire.
Yes, yes. These glasses make my eyes glow. It is the blue that is on them. So
I can't take you seriously.
now, what's interesting is this
Yeah.
has actually happened when I didn't have this. It was actually energy coming through my third eye and out when I was working. That was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
So tonight's show is a heavy topic.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It
Sure
is. So I brought the guns. I brought the guns.
And first things off, we're not therapists. We're not doctors.
We're not psychotherapists. No, we're not none of that stuff. We might be a little psycho, but so if you take any advice from us, get yourself a grain of salt and take it with a grain of salt. Yeah.
I've seen enough psychiatrists that I know that what they would say.
I think if I went and saw a psychiatrist,
they'll put you where Granny was.
they would probably do one of two things. They would probably either write a book about me, or
Oh boy! Oh, he's gonna get it, ladies and gentlemen. Here it comes.
they would put me in this. That's my own personal straitjacket.
I have to go turn off my AC.
Do it.
It will not shut off.
Hey, Vic girl.
I would actually have to find a psychologist that deals openly in the paranormal.
I mean,
There are
which
some
there
out
are
there.
some. I mean, there are some out there. I know because I found research papers for them for a certain group.
Yes, you did. Hey, everybody. Denise.
No, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure
please.
my psychiatrist and my therapist all went and formed like a group therapy session after dealing with me. They told me that I was too sane and too logical, and that I didn't need any help. I just needed a place to vent.
Hey, Melissa. They would need to go see one
Oh,
out.
there's a name we haven't seen in a hot
They would
minute.
need their own
Hello.
therapist after they got
Melissa.
done dealing with me. I don't think you're wrong. I don't know how many guardian angels I've been through. They all end up drinking and say, I'm out. No, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I think they ran out of guardian angels, and now I got guardian demons. They're recycling.
They're drawing straws.
Yes.
Yeah, mine always draw. Yeah, I feel bad for mine that draw the short stick with me. They form a support circle. They buckle in.
I'm thankful for our little support circle. Just saying. And the team and everybody. I'm thankful that we have people. Some people don't have people. I'm very thankful that we have people, and thank you, my people.
No, thank you.
There are people.
No,
Some of
thank
my
you.
people in the audience. I'm staring at two of my people. There are people on our team, our friends. I feel very privileged to have people.
People are important, especially when you're going through a topic that we're going to talk about.
And let's rip the Band-Aid off. We're going to talk about abandonment.
Abandonment.
Abandonment. One more time.
Abandonment.
I am the definition of abandonment here.
You know what? No, I'm out.
And he abandoned himself.
Yeah.
Abandonment.
That didn't take long. Oh, sure.
Us three agreeing to talk about one subject, and once I announce the subject, me dipping out and leaving you two all by yourselves to cover the show. That's a form of abandonment.
Yeah.
And it was a heavy. Well, I can't say it was a heavy discussion. It was very much so. Are we prepared for this topic? You know, that's.
We actually asked each other, "Is everybody okay to do the show?"
Mm-hmm.
Because we've all been through a lot. We're still going through things, and so this is kind of an emotional and touchy subject for us. But
I actually might cry.
Same. I don't know. I might get pissed off. I don't know. If I do, you'll probably be able to tell. Because instead of yelling and bitching, I'll probably just slow down and smile and talk like this.
I can't get mad. I think that, after. I told you guys before the show, I just had a discussion with my ex-husband, and he's helped me along the way, and he's still one of my best friends. He's one of my strongest support systems. So this last time with the abandonment subject, he was the one that I went to, knowing that he's a straight shooter. And I guess if you guys want, I'll start it off. I mean, since day one, I don't know who my biological father is. My mother was never truly around. It was my grandparents, so there was that sense of abandonment from my parental figures. And then for the past 5 years, I'm going through abandonment of a spouse. And he just basically handed Jesse his family and said, here, is my wife. Here is my 2 children. And I'm out. And I haven't heard from him. For the longest time, I didn't know if he was alive, if he was, what was going on. So in my conversation with my ex-husband, Trav, when this all happened 5 years ago, and I realized that my ex wasn't going to come back around, I realized I was going to have to file for divorce myself. And I've still yet to do it. But it's not like going and filing divorce on somebody that, you know, you're still communicating with. I have to go file under abandonment. And that hurts. That is embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
But in my conversation with my ex-husband, it is what it is. I can't control the people that have walked out. The only person that I can control is me. And I've grown to be like with my ex, you know what? You do you. You are where you are at. I hope you are happy. You live your life. I'll live mine. And I've come to that a cornerstone in my life. It's truly a cornerstone.
Yeah.
I can't control the other person. I can't control what they do. And I'm not going to beg.
No.
I'm not going to plead. I like I told my ex literally an hour ago, you're the only man that I've ever done that with. And you will be the only man that I ever do that with.
Mm-hmm.
But it killed me at first. It killed me. Like, why wasn't I good enough? What did I do to deserve this? What did our kids do to deserve this? And in how many years? I'm going to have to explain that to Weena Weena.
Yeah. We automatically go to, what did I do? What did we do? Well, chances are you didn't do anything except do everything in your power to make things work and try to help the other person. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. And
how do you explain to your child?
I know, especially young child. Older children, they're going to get it more. But young children, it's difficult too. It really is. It's like they're just gone. It's like dealing with a death because that person is just gone. But it's worse because you know that person is not gone. If there's a death, there is a final, this is done. If it's not a death, there's always that back here. When are they going to show back up? And guess what? Every reading, every Scorpio reading that I have listened to has talked about said person showing back up and knocking on the door.
And what do you do if that happens?
I have healed enough. I have already forgiven this person. I was given no closure. This person and I became very close. And then she was gone. I'm blocked. There's nothing. I'm blocked every way but hell. So I'm getting a hold of this person. Aside from walking up and knocking on that door. And I took the hint. But I did my best to heal from it. I did okay, what the did I do? What did I say? What did I do? Well, it turns out I don't think I really did anything except maybe try to be there too much, maybe a little too codependent. Okay. I offered a safe place, a safe relationship when they were used to toxicity. That was their normal. Chaos was their normal. Here, there's peace, and there's a big difference between that. I've been in both. And I think the woman got scared of change, didn't know how to handle the difference, and ran back to what was normal. And I understand that. I've done that. I forgave her for that. So if this person ever knocks on my door and says, hey, I need to talk. Okay, come on in. Let's sit on top. I'm here as your friend. I will listen to you. You help me in one of my worst times of need. I will be here for you. That is what I'll say.
And sometimes they're just there temporarily.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
teach. She taught me a lot, and I'm grateful.
I can't be mad at my ex. I really can't. And this is going to sound really selfish and really cruel and really, really just out of character for me. I am grateful he just walked out. After all this time, I'm completely grateful. I don't have to deal with his bullshit. I don't have to fight with him over custody of the kids. Thank you for giving me the best part of you, which was, Nate and Weena, and allowing, I guess on my end, I know that he was going through some shit, and thank you for not putting us through that shit. Thank you for loving us enough to leave us.
Yes.
To not drag us down with you. And it took me a while to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you. If he ever sees this, which, it's a possibility, thank you. Thank you for entrusting another man to take care of your family. Thank you for trusting my judgment. Thank you for just leaving. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Our son is better off. Our daughter is better off. I know. And that's the hard part is actually it's not. My son is like very much so like he's gone. He lived through the hell too. He watched the downfall. He watched the decline.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I don't want any part of this, which is rough because he was like, what, 9, 10? And he was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done with this. Where Weena was 2 years old, and she's never going to know the difference. She remembers him, and she calls him, well, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mom, I remember that guy. Yeah. What's his name? And then she'll say his name, and I'll be like, yeah, well, what do you remember about him? Well, you know what? Blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, okay. And I listen to her. But I know at the age of 12, 13, 14, she's going to come to me, and she's going to be like, why wasn't I good enough?
Oh, yes.
And that was
I could speak on that half
you
of
were
it.
good enough.
Yeah. You were very much so wanted when you were conceived. You were very much so loved when you were born.
Yes.
He wasn't good enough for you. And I want her to have that feeling that, he may have left you, but he left you with a man that loves you. He left you with a man that wants you. He left you with a man who is going to take care of you and is proud to be your dad and wants to be there every second of the day, because you are good enough. You are good enough for another man to love. And that's what my daddy taught me when he adopted me. It was thank you. Thank you for seeing that I am good enough and that I am wanted. And he put my dad was the first one to put his last name on mine, on my name. Mm-hmm. We all get married and we take our husband's name. That's all fine and dandy. But I can say that my dad wanted to give me his last name, and he was showing me that I was worthy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's what's important is what are you going to take away from that abandonment?
Yeah.
Did you gain from it?
I did. Every time I was abandoned in my life, I gained something. I grew up from childhood having abandonment issues that I had no idea that I had. It was not until Shannon, my ex-wife, most recent ex-wife, I've had two, left me here all by living here in a haunted house, haunted, all this crazy happening around me alone. I went into the deepest dark night of the soul of my life, and I came out questioning everything, and I am thankful for that because it put me in touch with who the real culprit is. Myself. So I had to look in the mirror and say, guess what? Dude, you're an asshole. Wasn't all on me. Wasn't all on them. I used to be quite the narcissist. I didn't do anything wrong. You made me do that. All that kind of good kind of stuff, Now, guess what? I made a decision. Did I have help? Crazy help in the head making the decision? Yes, I did. But when it comes right down to it, I wasn't strong enough to make the correct decision. So that's on me. That is on me. I was no angel. When I would first get into a relationship, I was strong enough to do the right thing. But the minute I was given a reason to start to mistrust even a little, it was all about me. Now I will sit down and say, hey, this happened. Can we talk about this? But Shannon didn't do anything wrong. She did the best thing she could, and that is to leave. That's how bad things were here, paranormally, emotionally. I commend her for having the strength to leave. I've told her that. You did the right thing. I'm proud of you for that. Thank you for that. Because that assisted in putting myself in touch with me. I keep saying, I'm slowly becoming the person I was meant to be instead of the person that I became. And I'm proud of that. And I work on that every day. And recently I got abandonment issues thrown back. Recycling, repeating cycles. I had a Reiki client I was going to teach Reiki to. And all of a sudden, I'm blocked. I'm like, I sent her the manual, say, hey, I'm going to give you a week or two to go over the manual, and I'm going to refresh myself, and then we'll get together and have some vid chats and some classes, and let's get you taught. Let's get your certificate. Yay, great, okay. And I go to message her, hey, what are you doing this weekend? And blocked, gone. And what did I do? Automatically, what did I do? What did I say? So I real quick went back through the previous conversation. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, well, maybe she got pretty scared. Maybe something came up in her personal life and she just needs some time. Okay, cool. It's better to shoot a message. Hey, I don't think I can do this right now. Okay, cool. Exactly. But then again, there are times when you just need to jet out of the situation. Something happened. You need your safety. You need to go. Cool. I get that. But my brain, my TBI brain is all over. So I'm going to jump. Just saying. Getting back to me being here all by myself in a haunted house, thrown at me and banging on the door to the point where the door cracks. Okay, I've got a crack in my door from something you couldn't see hitting it. Getting drugged down the stairs by my hair, going on the living room floor, held up off the ground, off my feet, still got thread marks. That's the kind of shit I went through. And all of a sudden I'm here by myself going through that. Okay. And I figured out what my biggest fear was. Being alone. And that's why I would jump from one relationship to the next without taking time to heal. Because I didn't want to be alone. I've always lived with somebody. Roommate, my kids, spouse, whatever. Okay. From childhood up until the time that Shannon left. So she helped me evolve. I learned about my fear. I overcame my fear. Guess what? I'm never alone. Do I get lonely sometimes? Do I like some company? Sure. But I'm never alone. I got you. I got my friends. I've got my guides, my spirit guides, my angels, my spirit animals, protectors. I am never alone. Ever. But it took a lot for me to see that. It took a lot for me to live alone. And I'm doing a pretty good job of it. I still have my rough days. This weekend was very rough for me. Main reason I had a soul shard reinserted. It actually left when something happened between me and Shannon and Paranormal. And if you don't know what a soul shard is, okay, run your finger across the board. Ow, sliver. Okay. A sliver of your soul says, nope, I'm out, and hightails it. Okay, so from the point it leaves to the point it returns, you have done all this work on yourself. You have had these experiences. It did not get to go through. So it gets back, and what the happened to the house? Where's Shannon? What fuck is going on? I'm what the. So I have been explaining things to this part of my soul shard. Yeah, this happened. We dealt with it. This is how we dealt with it. You're going to be fine. We are going to be fine. I speak to it as its own entity and as I and as we. So you, I, we. Working pretty good at that. I had to let it know that mom passed away. I had to let it know that we made peace with dad. I've had to let it know this and this and this, and the hair's standing up on my arms. So this weekend, it was very confused. It was fighting. It wanted to do things. I said, no, we don't do those things anymore. We've healed from that. We don't do those things anymore. And it got a little angry with me. My dude, chill. You'll get it. So it's been an interesting weekend. I'm just taking it day by day. I walked into work at Akuma instead of Napa, and he's like, "What are we doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a thing." Wait till the boss gets pissed off. Just for it.
Yep.
What that girl just said.
Which one?
Alone
Which one?
with my home, but all these podcasts and friends are my rock. But here's the part: I help everyone around me. Never took care of me. Life forced me to learn how to take care of me, and it feels weird. And that's exactly right. And that's something that abandonment. When I went through the same thing, Keith. You know, Jesse wasn't here. Jesse was in Albuquerque. Jesse was here. Jesse was there. Jesse doesn't live here. Well, he lives here, but he's at work 6 days a week. So it was just me. And I had spent 20 some years taking care of everyone around me.
Yeah, Harry.
And abandonment makes you look at yourself and what you need to heal and what you need to figure out. And I completely get that. I was on the floor. I wanted to die. It was like, oh my God, my life is just ripped out. A choice was made that I wasn't a part of. But like, yes, when we got married, it was we, right? It was us. We were supposed to be together. We were supposed to go through this, and you were supposed to be honest with me. You were supposed to tell me. If he would have just told me that he was leaving, it would have been fine. But here I am. I'm laying on the ground, and I'm like, okay, well, what else is there to do? I have nobody around me. I need to take care of me.
Mm-hmm.
I need to pull myself up off the floor. I need to love me. I need to fix me. And ultimately, it saved my life.
Yeah.
And in doing so, I realized that if I would have still been with my husband, you know, I would have not gotten the surgery that I needed, and I would have ended up dying. I would have been completely miserable, living without necessities. I drug myself down to living without necessities.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized how far I was drugged down and how far I let myself go.
Yeah.
And that's probably the part about abandonment that hurts is how far did we let ourselves go down the shitter, right? Well, we're trying to shovel the shit out, and we're shoveling everybody out of their shit, and it's just piling on us. You know, and Adrian was there when I was digging myself out of this shit, and I was laying on the floor. I'll never.
You got this. I'll catch up on everybody's comments here in just a minute.
I remember being on the phone with Adrian going, what the fuck did I do? Like, I did everything. And Adrian's like, you didn't take care of you.
That's okay first.
And that how fucking dare I not take care of myself? Like, how I preach to everybody, you know, you need to take care of yourself. You need to do things for you. You need to be there for you know, you need to be there for yourself first so you can be there for everybody else. And then here I am. I'm having to eat my own advice.
We
I'm having
abandon
to eat my own shit.
we abandon ourselves.
That's yeah.
Our own damn self.
Exactly. And that's I realized that I have abandoned who I was for everybody else. And now I have my circle, and my circle is so small,
Yes.
and I'm okay with that. I'm
Sometimes small is the best
I love
thing.
my circle.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
You
I
know,
love my circle.
so ultimately, you know, when we talk about abandonment, you know, let those people leave. Just don't abandon you.
Yeah.
Don't give up on
Good.
you. Melissa, you may like being alone, and you may feel like everybody abandoned you and left you that you loved. Well, no, you just gave them wings to fly.
That
Just fly, birdie, fly.
eventually they might learn. They might find themselves, and they might reach out for help. They
Yep.
might grow. You never know. You might have
You
been
never know.
that stepping stone that they needed, even though they left and did their own thing. They went on their own journey, but maybe you taught them something that finally hit so many years later. It came out of that subconscious, and the retrograde said, here, you might want to look at this. And they did. And that is amazing. I'm proud of that fact.
You know, and that's what I went through tonight with
Yes,
the phone
that's
call that
it.
I got.
That's why I said that. I'm proud of that.
Yeah, I got that phone call. You know, I'm getting help. You know, and this isn't from the current. This is from my first.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting the help I need. You know, I need the help. I appreciate you never leaving me. You know, because I never abandoned him, and in a lot of ways, he never abandoned me. I can say that for my first. I love my first husband to the day that I die. He's absolutely amazing. We just couldn't live together.
I
He dug me out of my hole too.
I have opposite feelings for my first wife, but there is a very specific reason I'm not going into right now.
We're just gonna leave
But
that.
every other one of my exes, my ex-girlfriends, my second ex-wife, I still love them in a different way. Will I be there for them if they need help? Absolutely. Need to talk? I'm here. You help with the car? I got you. You know, and that's something that my future is going to have to understand. Now, do I rush right out to help? No. If they say, hey, can I talk to you about my car? Something's wrong with it. Yeah, give me a call. Put you on speakerphone. Hey, my parents here. Let's figure this out. That's open. That's honest. Okay. But another thing that we do besides abandon people and abandon ourselves is we self-sabotage relationships. We will sabotage that relationship to the point where we leave first. We will cause the problems without knowing we're causing the problems, so that we leave first, so we don't get abandoned, so we don't get left.
Yep.
That's
something
huge.
I have had to look at. I have done that in the past. I didn't realize I was doing it. Now I do. You can do that with relationships, with friends, with jobs, anything, kids, anything. So that's something to really pay attention to. Let's hit the comments real quick, and then we'll get to Renee, because a couple of people have been hogging the conversation, and I apologize, Renee.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Let's hit a couple. There's a couple. I've been trying to skim, but also trying to listen. Let's start here. Vet girl, I have severe abandonment issues. I feel currently abandoned by my 14-year-old son, but I need to take time for myself before taking him back. We are thankfully both still alive. Absolutely. Yeah, it's.
I get that.
Go ahead.
I get that. I had to walk away from my kids in order to heal myself, to become a better person. And at times, I hope that my kids didn't feel like I abandoned them, but I walked away so I could be better for them.
You got to learn.
And right, and there's one that I struggle with, and he will come around and he will see. You know, they're kids. They will learn. They've never been married. They don't have kids. They don't understand. And the number one thing is, remember, we are growing up while we raise our kids. You know, like we just don't become adult and become superior and almighty. I'm now 42. I'm a grandma of 4 boys, 4 handsome little devils, and I'm watching my children grow and grow up while they are raising, and watching them struggle the way that their father and I struggled. And they'll figure it out. They'll get there. And kids, it's tricky because feeling abandoned by your children is huge. You gave birth to them, you fathered them, you know, and you want them there. They'll learn. They're young, they're dumb, and they will get there.
Yes.
You know?
And
Yeah.
my mom, when my mom and dad got divorced, he was just gone. And all of a sudden she had to go to work. Well, she was working multiple jobs to take care of us and me and my 2 sisters. And so she wasn't around. My sisters kind of pretty much raised me. She did what she could, but she did what she needed to in order to support and raise us. I understand that. But all of a sudden, both parents are gone. Guess where my abandonment issues started? Getting
Right, because we didn't
Usually at
understand.
the age of 6.
Have I understood that? Yes. Why? Because I had to do the same thing. I kind of abandoned my kids because I would kind of, but not really. I'd get them up in the morning, get them ready for school, get them to school, go to work, come home, supper, laundry, dishes, homework, get them to bed. Then I'd go out in the garage and work. But there was a lot of nights I wasn't home for not good reasons, selfish reasons. So I've had talks with my son and my daughter about that. I've apologized about that. But I did something right because they came out to be really good people. So I'm thankful for that.
But that's part of growing up, right?
Yeah. And they taught themselves a lot of their own lessons, just saying, because they wouldn't listen to dad. Hey, I've been through this. I've been here. You want you want some advice? No, I got to learn this on my own. Okay. Oh my God, this happened. You learned on your own, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's I look at it, I say, you know, parenthood is terminal. Nobody tells us that when we become parents, right? Parenthood is terminal.
Yes.
And as we grow older, we learn what we did wrong as parents, and we try to guide our children not to repeat that cycle. You know, you never truly abandon your children, yet you need you just need that time to yourself.
Yeah.
Right, in order to like see the whole picture, to see the bigger picture. And you know, when you're not in a good way, you're not in a good way, and you don't want to put that on your children. You don't want to drag them through that, right? But when you become, you know, older and you become a grandparent, or you have the older children and you're able to look back, you can see where things could have been better, but yet you've learned, so you can teach your children. Your teaching never stops. Right. And I always apologize. Like my first son, first thing I always tell him, I apologize. You were my first, and I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to fuck you up, kid, so bad. And I apologize. I gave birth to him, and he was like an hour old, and I'm holding this fat little dude, and I'm looking at him like, you were so handsome. You were so perfect, and I'm going to fuck you up, and I apologize, but we're going to learn, and we're going to do this together. You know, like
there's no manual.
No.
There's no manual. There's no guide.
No, I didn't have,
you know, for any of that.
Teach me how to be a parent, you know. I learned as I went. Vet girl, I see your comment here. I'm proud of you. Now, what I want you to do after the show is I want you to go look in your mirror, and I want you to smile at yourself. Tell yourself, good job. That is a start. Good job. Melissa, she gained freedom from her divorce, but when her parents passed, it left a lot of questions. If it was ever good enough for them or for anyone. It seems everyone she loves leaves, so she will stay alone so she doesn't get hurt again. That's a thing, you know. I was there, but
that was me as a little kid when my parents got.
I'm not afraid of that now, again. But I am cautious about stepping into the same cycle that I used to step into. I take my time now. I look at the flags, and if I stop looking at the potential of the person, I look at who they are now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's allowed me to say, okay, you know what? I'm sorry, I can't do this. I got to step back. My own reasons, but sorry.
Remember, are you good enough for them? Always remember that. Are you good enough for them? You know, and you know, sometimes just that temporary, we need to be there in that temporary moment. And we've helped them through, and we can't take that personal. We can't ever think that it was just about us and that we're not good enough to love, because you are good enough to love.
Yes.
Maybe you just weren't good enough for them, and you were there for just that moment.
Well, this is an awesome person. She has been my friend since high school. She's an awesome individual. And
Mark, we're going to talk.
She can be she's a words are hard. When she is very deserving of a good partner. It's just finding that good partner. And since she is so single, she has not found the right one yet. And maybe she will. Maybe she won't. I don't know. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Call me. I'll be your partner in life.
She knows where I live. We've had many conversations on my porch in my driveway at the lake. Yep. That girl.
That's the one I responded to.
I'm alone with my the doggies and the kitties, but all these podcast friends are my rock. Oh, yes, that right there. Yes, absolutely.
Where do you think I met this one?
This one? That one.
You. Yeah. And that one. Where do you think I did?
On a podcast.
On a podcast.
Just to let you guys know, Keith wanted to be in the middle and Renee didn't want to do all the pointing, so I'm at the end of the stick this time.
I am the Oreo filling. Yes, I said that.
He's the creme of the creme.
But
people needed some giggles, okay? They needed some giggles. I will deliver some giggles.
Are you Selena Gomez?
No. No.
But see, like my version of abandonment is I have multiple versions of this. I have generational, which, you know, I tend to always say that was the curse, but was it really the curse now that I know the reason why there were abandonment issues? You know, which took this generation to heal those past generations. So my mother and I can have a better relationship now, and that my son sees the good parts of it. So therefore, my future grandkids they're not gonna know this.
Right.
So it's a blessing.
They're not gonna know this. They're not gonna feel this. They're not gonna have the way that I constantly thought from the age of six. To I'm gonna to 30.
What is it with the age of 30, Renee? I woke up at 30 years old and I was like, I'm done.
Well, my thing at 30 is I, being with Kelly, said, okay, if we don't have a child by 30, then I'm just supposed to be like this. Here, everybody's gonna laugh, but this is into the inside of Renee's brain. I just said I'm just going because we're in this relationship, and I said we're just gonna go. We're gonna go out to Venice Beach. You're gonna go play professional volleyball, beach volleyball, and I'm just gonna be this hippie chick that lives on a rooftop looking for Jim Morrison. Like that was, I said by 30. I said if that
we would have gotten along so well.
Something doesn't come along, then that's where I think we're supposed to head to go and just put our feet in the sand, and that's where I think we're supposed to go. Well, July 4th weekend, guess what I find out when I'm 30 years old? I'm pregnant.
Hey, I got a question. Were you drunk? I always found out after I had a good drunk that I was pregnant. I drink a couple and I'd be like, you know what, fuck, I'm drunk, and I got drunk way too soon. I think I might be pregnant.
I have never, ever found out that I was pregnant after drinking.
Really, Keith?
Nobody ever gave you news?
Oh, you missed the memo?
No, the news made you go out and drink. You know?
Now, somebody has told me, hey, I'm pregnant after we drank, but yeah. No. And speaking of the 30, that's right about when it started with the first ex-wife. So yeah, I get the 30 part. Hey, Mark, I see you comment here. Hang on. She's right now with three of his kids between 18 and 22 who at this moment hate everything about me. You know what? That's going to change. That is going to change. But
Mark,
that's going to change. Mine right now is 17, and and it kills me because I know the kid that he was beforehand. I know this sweet, innocent, very smart by beyond his years of what he should be with the conversations that we had when we were little, or when he was little.
Are you saying that
he's just in his 17-year-old fueled? I hate everybody and hate everything, and I'm like, you know what? I remember being 17. I remember being the same way. I just want to set the world on fire and just watch it all burn because
it starts to change after we start working on ourselves. And they see that we set a precedent. I'm working on myself to heal. And then they might do the same thing. And then maybe you can start healing together. Give it some time, give it some space, patience.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to give Mark some credit. Okay, because I've known Mark I've known Mark a lifetime.
I wondered. I had a feeling.
My Mr. Spittlemeister. So I will have to give him credit because you know what? I know that he knows what abandonment feels like. And I know that he had to raise those kids by himself and he was left with the situation, right?
Welcome, Mr. Mom. Welcome to the club, Mr. Mom.
And that's the thing is there's not many of them out there. No. So the one you find them as friends,
ladies, that's a special.
They are really great people to hold on to.
And that is a special name. Just saying, ladies.
And I love Mark, and I love him enough, even if he hates himself right now. I love him enough to know that inside is a damn good man who tried his hardest, who did his best with the little that he was handed. And I have to say, in front of everybody watching tonight, I am proud of that person. Yeah. I am proud of what he has gone through and pushed himself through, because I know his rock bottom and I know how hard it was for him to pull himself up that rock bottom. And I'm happy that I could be there for him in that moment, because in that moment, I was also at my rock bottom and he helped me see that I am worthy and that I am loved, and I appreciate him and I love him with my whole entire heart. And I'm truly proud of him and the job that he's done raising those kids. And he did just an amazing job with what he was given. And I just
good job.
I'm proud of you.
There you go.
Very proud.
You or I am. I don't know them. I don't know the man, but I know you. I know your judgment. So there we go. I've been in hell. Turns out hell has a basement and there aren't any stairs. And I told that to somebody, and that somebody told me to grab a shovel.
And I got the scars on my knees to prove it because I dragged myself out of it.
Move that dirt, and you make steps, and those piles become bigger, and then you start grabbing along that wall, and then the next thing you know, you're up at that top, and you're up and out of that hole, that shit.
Yeah, but just small steps. that you can easily
Mhm.
step up. Because if you try to go from here to here, guess what? Your legs don't go that far. Now you're going to have to build a ladder. And all you got is a shovel. How are you going to build a ladder out of a shovel? You got one side of it, but you got no cross rung for the other side. Baby
Exactly.
steps. Go small.
If you stick that shovel in the side and try to prop yourself up on it, all you're gonna do is bury yourself with more
Give
shit.
yourself patience. Give yourself
Mhm.
patience. Give other people patience.
That's something Mark doesn't have is patience.
Yeah, I really don't either. Scorpio, Aries, Sag, patience. Okay. But I've
Patient?
learned
Patience for Sagittarius people
to
are
wait
not.
for
There is
things
none.
because if
There is none.
if I get something right away, chances are it's probably not the best for me. So I'm waiting. I'm patient. I'm looking for a different job. I'm waiting. Patient. I
Mhm.
put out to the universe. Okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm open to. But while I still have my job, I'm also looking for a new one. Specifics. While I still
You know,
have
and
my job, I'm open to something else coming up.
You know, I'm going to answer. I'm going to respond to two at once. Mark said, you know, all I could do was my best and I failed a lot. That doesn't mean that you failed. You did the best that you could. It just means that it wasn't meant to be, right? Like, you know, failure, just as long as you learn from it, is a lesson. And that goes along with, you know, constantly trusted the wrong people.
Mhm.
I completely get that. I trusted people that threw me
Right.
underneath the bus. That's the abandonment part, right? I trusted you. I trusted you with this. I trusted you with that. And here you are. You're going to abandon me. Listen, when I lost my son, when my son committed suicide, I truly learned who my friends were. I gave myself. Before that, I gave everybody 110% of myself. I gave my family 110%. I forgot about myself.
Failing is
Yep.
learning.
And when my son died, everybody expected me to be the same person that I was before he died, and I could never
Yeah.
be that person again.
Impossible.
You know, like I showed you guys before the show, you know, we were talking, and I was like, yeah, you're my pig, you know, and he's in an urn, and I carry him with me all the time. But yet then I was criticized with how fast I got over it. It's not that I got over it. You don't get over your kid, you know, passing away. I was pregnant. I didn't want to pass that on into my daughter. I had to do the best I could. I still had kids that depended on me.
That trauma, because that shit causes trauma that will haunt that child
Forever.
forever.
Forever. So I
Mhm.
grieved my
It is
short
written into their
period,
DNA.
and I didn't get over it. I just set it aside until the time that I could grieve, right? And trust me, it came.
Grieving comes at any time, and in many shapes and different forms and
We
different
can't
ways.
control it, and there's no time limit on it. But
So
don't dwell in it. Heal it.
Everybody left me. They like literally left me. There was rumors that were started. There was this that started, and that abandonment after he passed away, after the funeral, after a couple of months, everybody just went, well, we don't know what to do. And they just walked away. And it was like, you just love me in the fucking moment. Love me in this moment. Love me for who I am in this moment, and understand that I am in pain and that I am grieving, and that one day I might pull myself up out of this mess. And I did. All right. I mean, I love my son. I just, I understand the reasons why he committed suicide. You know, but they left me. They left me, and I would have never done that to them. And I didn't do that to them when their loved ones died. So then I had to realize, you know what? It's not me. It's them. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know how to handle the situation. They don't, and I can't blame them. They just don't know because they aren't there. And I have one that has lost a child since, who now understands where I come from, right?
Yep.
And she's come back, and we may not be as close as we were, because I'm gonna keep her at that distance, but I am there for her, and I love her through it, right? So essentially, when people abandon you and abandonment happens in any sense of form, whether it's a parent, whether it's a child, whether it's friends, whether it's your significant other, whoever
Teammate,
abandons,
coworker.
you have to look at it as, you know what, they just that's their issue, not yours. It's their insecurity, it's their problem, it's not yours. And don't let that hold you back ever. Ever. Just say, okay, I love you where you're at. And that's my biggest thing. I will love you where you're at. I'm not going to love you who you were 5 minutes ago. I'm not going to love you for who you could be. I'm not going to love you for this. I'm not going to love you for that. I am going to love you where you were at. And Mish, I get it, because you know what? I have 0 family members besides my children and my grandchildren, and I keep it that way. I keep it that way. You know what? You weren't there for me. That's okay. You go do you, boo. I can't control you. That's right. We are here to learn. And you may not go into that next learning experience with me. And that's okay. I will love you where you're at a distance or up close to me. Wherever you choose to be, I will love you where you were at.
That's what I say. I go, what? I still love you. I still care about you. I still want you to succeed. I want the best for you, but I just don't want you eating at my table. Right. You can eat next to me, by all the means that you want, but do not think you're going to pull up a chair, sit at my table, grab a fork, and go, hey, pass me that plate of mashed potatoes, because you know what I'm going to tell you? What the fuck are you doing at my table? You weren't there when I needed you at my table. You can still sit next to me, and I'll pass you the mashed potatoes, just not at my table.
I fed you too much. I fed you too much, and I take responsibility for that. I gave you too much. Maybe I should have let you suffer a little. Maybe I should have made you struggle for that moment. And okay, all right. Chris and I were talking earlier about learning how to swim, right? There are people that just throw their kids into the water and say, swim. And we think that that's wrong, right? Is it really? Where's your survival instincts? And that's life. We get thrown into life without a manual, without a guide, without this, without that, and it's survive. Figuring the fuck out.
When you're born, you can give birth to a baby underwater. It comes out. It doesn't have to breathe right away. It is still connected to the umbilical cord. It knows how to swim. Okay.
Right. Yep.
But if you ladies don't mind, I need to touch on this for just a minute. May I? Okay. Same subject. Losing a child. Recently, lost a child, not my flesh and blood child, but an adopted child. Okay.
Still a child.
I had actually talked this person out of that process. Okay. We'll just say that process many times. One of our clients that we helped were that family's friend. That client, paranormal client, did the same thing. Waited till I wasn't around to talk them out of it in order to get it done. I have had friends that have completed that process, and they waited until I was not around to save them. If it's going to happen, this is going to be rough. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. All we can do is postpone it. And
But how selfish is that?
When I felt her, we were connected spiritually. I felt her, and I reached over and I picked up my phone and I got ready to call. I heard one word: don't. That was spirit. Okay. I put my phone back down.
It's a process that they need to go through, and all you're doing is tethering them, and all you're doing is hurting them even more.
I got the news and it floored me, but I accepted it. I was, in a way, happy for this person because they were no longer here suffering in pain. And when I went to the funeral, I was grateful because I got to help cross her over. I saved a chair. And when I walked in, I sat down with my son. And I told my son, nobody's going to sit in that chair. That's for Satin. Nobody sat.
Nobody saw it because Satin was sitting there. Mm-hmm.
I get it. You know, you got options, and if you do it, there's nothing I can do about it.
But just know that if you do decide to do that, this is what kept me here. Okay, I'm telling you openly and honestly, when I was going through my dark night of the soul, the first one, this is what kept me here. I finally realized that important. All of the hurt and pain that I was going through, all of the confusion, all of the pissed off, everything, I would have transferred to everyone that I loved, and I couldn't do that to them. So if that's a thought of yours, keep that in mind, please.
Yeah, that's a big one. And that's one that they don't talk about is how you, not because they like to call it, oh, that person's being selfish. They're not thinking of others.
They just didn't know what to do. They didn't know.
They just don't know what to do because when you get at that, because I've been there many times, and when you're at the deepest, darkest part of that, and you think that you're fucking stuck and there's no way of any way but one way, it's really hard.
And remember that to think about you have gotten through everything in your life that you have been through. You have gotten through it to right now. You are one strong son of a bitch.
I have another end to that. I am a survivor of suicide. Multiple suicides. Okay? Survivor. We are the survivors. They are not. Yeah. On the other end, this is something that I talk about in private, and this will be the first time that I talk about it on a public platform. To commit suicide takes a very strong person.
It does.
Not a very weak person.
They don't tell you that either.
It takes a very strong person. So when my son committed suicide and I found him, I looked at him and I went, okay, Piggy. All right. I get it. It was too hard and it was too much. And how dare anybody judge my son for what he was going through mentally? Don't for once say that he was a weak person because you don't know what he went through mentally all those years. You don't understand the struggle that it took for him. And when he took his life, he thought about everyone else, and the last person he thought about was himself. And in suicide letters, you see that, right?
Yeah.
You see that they have thought about everyone else except for who? Them.
Because their self is gone at that point.
Right. They have nothing left. They have nothing left to give.
100%.
And it takes somebody so strong to go through and say, you know what? I'm done. I can't handle this mental anguish anymore. And you know what? I respect that. I respect that. I have been there. I have walked by a gun and said, you know what? It'd be as simple as that. But then you know what happens? I think about Nate. I think about Avelina. I think about Derek. I think about Dylan. I think about the grandkids. I think about Jesse. I think about this. I think about that. And I live with a nerve disorder that 90% of people will take their own lives within 5 years. And I have lived with this nerve disorder for 20 years, and I have pushed on because of the strength that I have for the others that I love. For the others I love. I do not live for myself. As much as I say I love myself. Absolutely.
Yes,
I love myself.
I mean, honestly, the three of us,
we all love ourselves enough.
Do we all love ourselves enough? But do we really all take care of ourselves when it really comes down to it?
No, we don't. But we love ourselves. We love ourselves enough that we actually found the strength to reach out and ask for help.
That's right. And I also live for others. I want to live to see Abby graduate. That is my main goal. Anything else in life, I will do A, B, C, and D. And I have to wait. I have to wait until she becomes an adult. I will watch her graduate. After that,
And she'll look
I
up
live
and
with
see
so
you.
much pain. Every morning I wake up, I take a deep breath and I go, hello, pain. Let's do this again.
Yes.
It's my friend. It is my alibi. It is what it gets me through life. And I will say that this is what it's my walk with Jesus.
In a way, it's part of your
My
strength.
walk with Jesus.
Yes.
It is my strength. But in the end, I know it's going to be my death. The reality is, will I live to see 80? Probably not. And I give the man that chooses to be with me right now, here in this moment, the credit because he understands that.
Yeah.
And that's abandonment. It goes right back to abandonment. It really does, right?
Yeah. We abandon not only everybody else, but we also abandon ourselves in that type of situation. In the most complete way a person ever could.
Yeah.
So I say, you know, when you look at abandon the feelings of I'm not worthy. When you face that abandonment, abandon the feelings of I'm not lovable. Abandon the negativity and bring in that positivity. Because if you've been abandoned in life in any form of way, you know what? Good riddance.
Let it
Just
be.
good riddance it.
Let that person walk away. Yes, there's going to be a void. Yes, it's going to be a hurt. But if somebody abandons you, there's something not right about the situation. It will make a void, but that is a void that can be filled with light from somebody new.
That's right.
Something.
And amen. I have Jesse. All of my abandonment and everything has, like, God bless the broken road, right? Rascal Flats. God bless the broken road that led me here to you. You know what? Because I have been through all of this shit. And you know what? I know what I'm not going to do with him, right? I know I'm not going to do this. I know I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to love him for where he's at. And I'm going to appreciate every day. And I'm not going to take it for granted, right? That's what I've learned through abandonment is you don't know how long that person's going to be there.
Right.
You don't know how long you're going to get to love that person. So take every day and take every moment, take a breath, and just appreciate what you have in that life.
Yeah.
And if they end up walking out, say, I love you. And know that it wasn't them that felt too good for you. It was them that wasn't good enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's me and Kelly in one like
go ahead.
shell.
Go ahead.
No, that's just like that's me and Kelly in one shell.
Yeah.
Like we came together as he was broken, I was severely broken. We thought we could fix each other because we thought, why not? Fucked up can fix fucked up, right? That happens, right? He got absolutely petrified, scared, because he knew. Later on, he even admitted it to me. You know, and said, I wasn't ready for you because I needed to go heal myself, because not saying that his was worse than mine or mine was worse than his. He knew that he needed to be that oak so that I could be, when I have my shit days and I have my really horrible moments, that I could lean on him and he's not going to crack or falter.
Yep.
And it took a while. I mean, it took a while, but when he came back, I mean, I see it now. Because that's why I call him my Harry Potter cloak. Like literally all he has to do, I could have it could be grief from losing my father and my grandfather within 6 months of each other. Yep. It could be losing 1, 2, 3, 4 students in my life. It could also be losing a very important person in my life, Raymond, that I didn't have enough fucking time with, that I feel cheated every day. And grief is a bitch. When we talk about like that line, it's a big old fucking knot that just keeps going and going and going and going and going. But I know that if I wake up and I have a shit day and he says, "Come here, give me a hug," I know I can lean. And when I mean I lean. And he just wraps his arms around me and everything, it all stops. All stops.
Yep.
And I just deal and figure out, okay, what pieces do I have to put in order so I can function? Because I don't want my son at 17, because I remember a mess that I was at 17. And if I can stop that for him, that's my ultimate goal that I have decided on. I came back for other reasons. Yes. Did I come back to heal my family traumas? Yes. Check. Did I fix my own? Check. Am I currently working, which I thought was funny, currently working on my husband's that came out of the woodwork? Check. Okay. Well, the world needs to bend or knee, drop the world and worry sometimes about what I need in order for me to function so I can go and help more.
I have to say this because I know he's watching.
I've been waiting.
And it's going to lean on what Renee said. Thank you for loving me in my brokenness. Thank you for loving me in my brokenness.
Oh,
Thank you for loving me in my brokenness, because I'm still going through it.
But I also need to thank me for loving me through my brokenness.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
You need to give yourself that credit, right? Thank you for loving me.
If we wouldn't have loved ourselves enough to ask for help, if I wouldn't be here. Other people might not be here. Okay? That's how crazy it was in here. Before I got the help with the paranormal, that is how crazy it was in here. You want to talk about what the serial killers think? What they've talked about? That's got nothing on what used to go through just mine. But
on the other hand, serial killers are quite sane. They're not insane. I do believe that serial killers are probably the sanest. It's like the Joker, right? You have the Joker and you have Batman, right? Is the Joker really insane, or does he just have a different way of approaching things and making you?
Points. But a lot of the serial killers talked about being possessed.
The hidden hijacker, hitchhiker,
my dark passenger.
It's all the same thing.
I have adopted that from the show Dexter. He is not the name that was given. He is the dark passenger. Now, what's interesting with this soul shard getting shoved back up unexpectedly. The first one I asked for. This one, not so much. But it just means I've grown enough, I've healed enough for it it felt safe enough to return. So I'm grateful for that. But that soul shard has not been through that healing of me or the paranormal. It's going, where is everything? Why is it so quiet? Who is that guy? Used to attack us. What's up? That's our buddy now. But what didn't get removed from said soul shard? You and I have talked about this thing keep coming back. Here is our answer.
Yes. I mean, that is a thing, and that's always been my question.
This is 2. There's one more. There's one more out there that's going to come back. I know. I've looked.
But that's also part of the healing process, right? That's also that soul shard is showing you. And when anybody relives something like that, look at how far you've come. Look at what you've accomplished since. It's a reminder of where we have been at.
She ain't wrong.
And sitting down and explaining to ourselves and being honest with ourselves, we can go, you know what? I was there. I've been there. You got through it, dude. Like, what would we tell our younger selves, right? If we were to go back on the day we died, all right, all the lessons that we learned, and we have the ability to meet ourselves as that 6-year-old, what would we tell our 6-year-old? Listen, dude, I'm proud of you, right? I am proud of you with what you were going through. And then say we hit ourselves at like 12, 13, right?
Your
And we
inner
come back and we say, dude, you got through it. I'm proud of you. This is what we learned, right?
mate.
We made it. We look at ourselves at 18 to 20. We go back and say, you know what? You made some fucked up choices. And this was a big no. But you know what? You made it. You made a choice. And that's the thing. So I tell my kids, I don't care what choice you make, just make one. You made a choice. I'll be proud of you for making that choice. You either shit or get off the pot, right? Are you going to wipe your ass when you fucking do it? I'm proud of you. You got up, you got off that pot, you wiped your ass, you washed your hands, and you went out there and you did it. You just made that choice, right?
Yeah.
Tell ourselves at the age of 20 that. We go back and we look at ourselves at 30, where most of us go, you know what? I'm done with this shit. And you go, you know what? I'm proud of you. We go back and that girl said 40. 40 was a hard one for me. Not because, oh my God, I'm 40 years old. Screw that. I was already a grandma. I was already old. At 40, I look back and 40 is when I can say, you know what? You have made it almost a half a century. And you have come down, banged up, scarred up. You've picked yourself up. You have been through this abandonment. You have been through that abandonment. You have been through this. You've been through that. And look at how far you're going to come. And I can't imagine what I'm going to say to myself at 60.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what am I going to be at 60? Because I pray that I live that long, right? I may not live that long. I make it to 60. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back and go, you know what? It's free sailing from here.
There you go. Cason's comment. I don't look in the mirror. That's how much he hates himself. That is self-abandonment.
That sounds like somebody I used.
I was just going to say that was me. Okay. I refused to look at myself because I did not want to accept the responsibility of my past decisions. I'm not saying that's you. I'm admitting that about myself openly, honestly, in the public. Okay. Nobody's got nothing on me. I've admitted to everything I've done.
I wouldn't change a damn thing.
I wouldn't either. If I could meet my 6-year-old self, you got this. I have told my 6-year-old self, my inner child, you got this.
Well,
growing up again, you got this.
You need to do that.
But Kason, when I finally looked at myself in the mirror and saw who I was, saw who I am, saw who I'd become instead of who I wanted to be, and again, not putting that on you. This is me. I didn't like myself for my own personal reasons, for my own personal decisions. That's on me. But looking at myself gave me the strength to ask for help. And I'm a Scorpio. I will screw around in the garage for a week trying to get a transmission in instead of calling my son, hey, can you put this bolt in while I hold this transmission up? Because I can't hold it up and get it lined up. I will fight for a week to do that.
Ask for help.
And then I'll find and it takes 10 minutes. Boom, it's in. Cool. Thank you. That's me. So I really feel if you find the strength to look at yourself, you may make some realizations about you and some other people. And I think that may open a door and a fork in the road. Now, whether you go left or whether you go right, doesn't matter. You are still going to get to the same place. One's a short, easy road. Okay, I accept this, and this. One is a little bit longer and bumpier road, but you're still going to get to the same place. One you may learn more from. That will be the longer, bumpier road. But that's your choice. But I feel that would help you.
We don't go. We don't get to heaven by taking the shortcuts.
No.
Okay, I've been through hell. I've been dragged. We all have, right? We all have our own personal hell. My hell may not be worse than yours. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not, right? It's not me to judge. But we all have our own hell. And that road through hell, when we get to the end of it and we find our heaven, we find our peace, it makes it worth it even more. We appreciate it even more. I appreciate Jesse. I appreciate my kids. I appreciate my life so much more than if it was just handed to me. Drag me through that hell again, baby. Give me those scars. And there was a time where I looked at myself and I couldn't stand looking at myself either. I didn't love me. I didn't like me. And that's when it was like, okay, self-reflect. What don't you like, bitch? Let's get down to work. Let's grab the pen and the paper and let's write it down.
And some of that shit that you don't like about yourself is why, because you were abandoned and made to feel that you were smaller, less worth, less important, and not needed.
And then what do we do? We abandon other people.
We abandon other people. I mean, sometimes, I'm just going to, shit, I don't give a fuck. What happens if you have this situation when you're abandoned, when you ask for help? How about this one? When you ask for help and you're abandoned by the people that you ask for help, or they don't bother to see that you need help after you've asked for it. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, maybe 4 or 5.
A whole hand.
A whole hand. Maybe 2 hands.
A whole hand.
A whole
or
hand.
more than that. But a whole hand is good right now at this moment.
I can count to 21.
But see, because that's something that I have gone through.
Mm-hmm. And
I've gone and I was told, hey, we've got you. We have this. We have got you. And if you need us, hey, shoot a message. Sup. Nothing happens.
When I went to Keith.
So then, how do you feel when you're in a situation, learning, processing, trying to become the better person so that you can be here what you're destined for to do for this planet, solar system, galaxy, whatever you want to call it, right? And you're working on abandonment issues. You work through what your parents have done to you. You work through what friends have done to you. You've worked on past lives. You get to this point and you're like, fuck, I've really, really, really worked. And then the people that are supposed to fucking help you, that are supposed to be lock and step with you, say, and you're like, hey, I got this really issue. Can you help me through it? And you're like, what? Where the hell did everybody go?
Because they're not strong enough.
Yeah.
They're not strong enough.
Or they've got their own shit going on. But still, they should say, hey, I got this going on right now. Maybe talk to this person.
Yeah.
But I get it. Because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have. And when you reach out and ask somebody and they don't even reply,
yeah,
it hurts a little bit.
Especially, help a little bit. Shit, a little bit.
Now, have I done that?
Remember, he's a man. He doesn't know how to measure.
I know. And the worst, my grandmother, this much, that much.
I have done that to people inadvertently, and I don't like that about myself. Mm-hmm. But when I'm at work, if I'm in the middle of a mold and the boss is right there, I cannot reach for my phone. Mm-hmm. Or if I can, I walk by my toolbox real quick, take a look. Okay, I'll get back to you at noon. I got to rush home, eat lunch, rush back. We get back at it. I get off work. By that time, this ADHD, PTSD brain has forgotten that message even came through. And I will go to message that person a week later, hey, how you doing? And realize I looked at the message and forgot about it. And I feel that big. I am so sorry. But I react. I tell them, hey, I apologize. I dropped the bomb. I'm here now. How you doing?
you know, Renee, I get where you're coming from. I get it. And that's where I said, like, after my son, everybody wasn't there, right? I go to ask for help. Like, you don't have to say anything. Okay, first of all, hey, when somebody loses a kid, the best thing to say is not, I'm sorry. Because are you truly sorry? Like, can you really feel that amount of sorry? You can't unless you've been there, right? As a parent.
Yep.
Hey, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I know that there is nothing that I can say in this moment that will make anything better. There's nothing I will ever be able to say to make anything better, right? And sometimes that's what it takes. It may not be losing a child. It may just be the moment, right? Say, I know that there's nothing that I can say to make this better, but I am holding space for you and I am here for you. All you had to do was be there for me. All you had to do is sit there with me. I may not have said shit to you.
Yep.
Just sit there with me so I don't feel alone. Or just love me in that moment.
Mhm.
Right? Love me in that moment. Reach out for help. Lord help me. I will say this, you know, everybody that I asked for help with my issue that I went to Keith with, we ripped the closet doors off, but I never truly ripped mine off, right? I was in such a hell. I had so much coming against me. I had every odd against me, and I'd reach out for help and I would ask for help. And talk about abandonment. I had bishops abandon me. Go, no, we're not going to help you. And you know what? That's because you weren't the right person. You were not the right person to help me. So if that person can't help you and that person's not there for you, they're not the right person for the situation. You know what'll happen? The right person will come along. And it did. And it came in the form of Renee and Keith. Okay. And I sat there and I got through that hell. I went through that hell with the both of them by my side saying, we will get through this. And Keith, all it took was one person, that was Keith, to look at me and go, oh my God, this is absolutely crazy. This is insane. You could write a book off of it. And we just might write a book off of it.
We might.
And everybody had abandoned me at that point, except for Jesse, right? And Jesse's like, I literally can't help you in this. Like, I love you and I am right by your side. I can't help you because I don't understand. It took one person to go, you know what, we got this. You sound absolutely fucking crazy. You sound absolutely insane.
What helped with that decision to actually help you, even though you sounded delusional when you first told me this, I actually sat back and I looked, not with these, with this. My third eye. I use my gifts to actually look, to feel, to hear, to feel, to see. And I saw everything. And I realized you aren't any crazier than I am. You are speaking your truth. There are reasons, legitimate, physical and metaphysical reasons why you are at this point in your life. And I said, okay, let's take a look at this. Let's see what we can do. You good with that? You said, yes. Thank you for that. Can I help you? Yes. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And we looked. And we did some really crazy things in order to get rid of what your issue was at that time. I'm not going to speak it. But if you ever see the dead files, they take all the big cases. Okay. Hers. Okay. That was above and beyond dead files case. I was on the dead files. Okay. Hers. That one. I can't point in the right damn direction. That was like dead files times 10.
Yep.
But we took it slow. We did our homework and we got it taken care of. Do we still have issues because of other people still trying to hit because they're pissed off that I removed what they worked so hard to bring through? Yes. Guess what? Fuck off.
My case is what they call a red file closed case.
Never heard that term.
Red file closed case. Because when I was sat down, when the people approached me about what was going on with me, because I started digging,
Yeah.
it was literally what I call a red file closed case. Like, here is your case, here is your file. We know what's going on, yet we can't do anything about it, and we're just closing it out. We are there for you, but we are closing it out. So I have a red file closed case. So that's abandonment. That right there, that was the ultimate abandonment. Like, we know what's going on. We see what's going on. We can tell you what's going on, yet there is nothing that we can do about it. So we're just going to walk away from you. We'll support you, but we have to walk away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And when these two specific places did that, and it was two specific places that I always felt comfortable in, that I still do it because I understand. Okay, I may have been mad, I may have been bitter at that point. I understand why they couldn't help me. Their hands were tied. But here I am, how many years later, and all of the abandonment that I went through at that point. I have Adrian by my side. She's my ride to die.
Mm-hmm.
Through it all.
That almost looked like a scorpion. That one.
I have you two by my side.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't change a damn thing.
Me neither.
I wouldn't change a fucking thing in all of the abandonment, in all of the fucking dread, in all of the pain, in all of the hurt. I wouldn't change a damn thing because you know what? Here we are. We are strong. We are better. We are more knowledgeable.
Mm-hmm.
And we have something that's real.
We do. Trust.
Yeah.
Love.
Compassion.
To be honest with you, when we first looked at your case, I got off the phone with you after 4 or 5 hours. And I'm like, holy fuck, I don't know if I can do this. Because this is real. And I'm looking at what we have to deal with. And it's at that point, I had two people, one in this ear, one in this ear, you know, the devil on your shoulder and the angel on the other.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about. They both said at the same time, do it. We got you. Cool. Okay, let's do this. So we did. I stepped out of my comfort zone. I always tell paranormal teams, if you don't know what you're dealing with, don't deal with it. Find somebody else, do some homework before you deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? I got support from above and below. We got you.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with it. This is what we're going to do with it. This is how we're going to do it. Okay, cool. Thank you. And we did it. And they were right there by my side the whole time. And it got done.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't doubt myself anymore in that aspect. But yet I'm afraid to jump on a video and start reading people's tarot. Even though I do it on Drunken Oracle. Huh. Whoa, Drunken Oracle. Here's a shameless plug. Drunken Oracle is coming back with your hosts, me and Jan.
Oh,
Very
God, you guys see me
soon
drunk. It's going to be great.
to a screen near you. Oh, and the almighty sound effects lady. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, the bottom line is that as low as you get, there's always somebody there that's willing to crawl down in the trenches for you, and sometimes they come up in the most unexpected places. They really do. I'm sure that Renee, when she started digging into my background, she's like, this broad is off the fucking charts. Like, are you fucking serious? And then we got to the point, and it was like, well, maybe she's not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and as crazy as you may sound to somebody, you know, there's always somebody there. Chris, I got Chris. That's for sure. I'm that girl. I appreciate it. I completely do.
Yes.
And our viewers are the reason. If Renee can get through what she went through, if Keith can get through what he went through, if I can get through what I went through, we can all get through it together.
Yep.
I never want anybody to feel like that they're totally absolutely fucking insane. And if you are crazy and you need mental health, I will tell you that you need mental health.
So we'll come out and definitely. I mean, we've told clients,
But don't tell somebody they need mental help if you don't want to deal with them. That's a no-no. That's a no-no. Now, I'll case in point. I had a client in England, video chat, call, message, and we took care of her issue. And she was open and honest. You know, I vet my clients. We vet our clients. Both Renee and Jan are now members of Cobra Paranormal. We vet our clients. We got to make sure you're not crazy. It's not medication, drug use, whatever mental condition that's causing this issue. Okay. She had an actual paranormal issue. Okay. Removed it. Next day, oh my God, it's back. I looked. No, it's not. But this is what you can do. You can cleanse your home. This went on for about 3 months. And I finally said, okay, when we first started this, you said you were on this med. Okay. You got put on that med while you still had the paranormal issues. Now you don't have the paranormal issues. So maybe you don't need that med anymore. Why don't you go in? Because at this point, I cannot help you anymore.
Yep.
Do me a favor and go in and get reevaluated, retested, etc. with your doctor, and get back to me with what they say.
Yep.
So she went in, got retested. Her health and everything got good enough to where the meds were up. They readjusted everything, and all of a sudden, everything's good. So, really, really look at things if you're on a team and helping somebody, because you can really screw somebody up. You can screw yourself up. You can give yourself self-doubt. Because I doubted myself. I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing anything. There's nothing here. I don't feel anything. I asked Spirit. Spirit's like, dude, here, tell her this. Okay, thank you. And she actually did the work. She did the heavy lifting. She took my advice. She went in and got retested. If everything was the same, fine. We'll do some more looking. But her medications needed to be adjusted, and they got adjusted, and everything went good. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of her. She's still good to this day. That was several years ago. But I didn't just say. Now there is one client that we kind of had to step away from a little bit, but we did it baby steps.
Yes.
So it wasn't the. And we're technically still trying to help this person, but they got to do the heavy lifting.
Yeah,
they got to do they got to do the homework. You know, if we give them homework to do, you got to do your homework.
That's another thing that we can't just fix. Well, and this goes along with abandonment, right? We can't just do the work for you. You have to do the work yourself.
Yeah.
I can show you A, B, and C and how to get there, but you have to be willing to do A, B, and C in order to get there, right? You can't just hand your problem over. Like, okay, so when Keith and Renee met me, here I am. I'm going through abandonment of all of my family. I'm going through abandonment of my current husband. I'm going through abandonment of this, and I'm going through abandonment of that and everything around me, right? And Jesse was there to love me through it, okay, and to support me. An amazing pillar and rock that he is.
Yes.
He is. I give him, like, I will always say at every show, I give him the ultimate credit.
I don't like many people, but I like that guy.
It's the beard, isn't it?
Maybe.
Oh, we conditioned it last night and it was so soft. But we have to be able to do the work ourselves. You know, we have to be able to self-reflect. We have to be able to look at ourselves. We have to be able to say, where did I feed into this? How did I feed into this? And how I'm going to stop feeding into this and how I'm going to stop doing this.
Yeah.
We have to, it all comes down to, if you find yourself in that abandonment position, you have to pull the strength to love yourself enough to not abandon yourself. And self-abandonment, like we said, is huge.
That when I asked for the paranormal help and I got it, I fought for years to get on the Dead Files.
And their vet.
I looked for help. I looked at every show. I couldn't find anything. And all of a sudden, I'm just flipping channels one night and there's Amy Allen on the Dead Files. I'm like, I need her. So I started fighting to get them here. And I eventually did. And she's texting underneath the table during the filming of the reveal, which she's not supposed to do. And I'm probably not supposed to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. She messaged the spirit mechanics, the people who helped me. And how soon can you get here? How soon do you need us? She sent the right people.
The magician just fell out of my deck when you were talking about them.
Imagine that. Okay. She sent the right people. And when Steve walked up and knocked on my door, I knew when they hit town. I knew they were getting closer. I knew. I could see him getting out of the car. I was sitting on the couch. I could see him getting out of the car and walking up. I got up and I walked and I opened the door before he knocked. And he's like, "Hi, I'm Steve." "Hi, I'm Pete. Can I come in?" He asked permission.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I stood there for probably 5 minutes, wanting to deck him so hard I knocked his head off of his body so it landed in the street. And eventually I said, "Yes, you may." And I opened the door. That was me being strong enough to overcome what that thing was telling me to do in order to help myself. And I had another here from my team. My team was allowed to help. And if that person wouldn't have been here, I don't know if I would have been strong enough to allow him to remove said thing. Her and I could talk mentally. We did not have to speak. I thought she heard. She thought I heard. Son of a. Anyway. Yeah, you know where my mind went. I didn't have the strength to help myself that night. I wouldn't have gained knowledge from these people. I'm a member of their team now to help anybody else in the capacity that I needed to. So I am grateful for everything that has happened in my life that led up to today. I would not change a damn thing. I got to learn both sides of every coin, every situation. And I'm thankful for that because I can feel and know how a client is feeling when saying, "I'm going through this." Or if a person I'm helping, maybe they don't have paranormal issues, they're having physical issues or relationship issues. I've been there. I know how you feel. This is what I did with myself to help with. Maybe that will plant a seed where you can find your way. I don't tell anybody you have to do this. I say, this is what I did. This is what I suggest. You got to be able to pick yourself up and do the homework, because after they left, I almost invited something back in that may have been worse, because all of a sudden, all of that negativity was gone. It was just yanked. There was nothing here. I was all alone.
Which is why it's so important to have
aftercare,
because how many cases, or I mean, How many? I mean, I don't know the number, but the odds of it are, when you've had something for that long, the odds of you inviting something, the same thing, back in, or something else back in, are very high, because what is that? That is your normal. And
Yes.
there's when something like
It's a
that
point.
leaves, it leaves a hole. And what do you have? You don't know what to fill that hole with. So what do? You go back to your normal. And that's why sometimes, like Steve has said many a times, and Brian has said it many a times, Davis has said many a times on lives, for the mechanics, you invite shit back in.
Yeah, and it can be worse.
And it can be worse.
I remember, well, I just had a case recently that I went in and I took care of by myself, which I didn't think I was going to be able to. Adrian and you two had the faith that I was going to be able to do it. So I went in and I removed this really bad negative entity. And afterwards, I looked at them and I said, "Don't invite it back in."
Mm-hmm.
It's a cycle of abuse. It's like somebody who like an abused dog, right? They go back to an abusive. They don't know how to take a new owner, right? That's going to love them. It's like us being abused. We don't know how to invite that positivity in. And I told them, I said, you need to fill this hole with something else. So we went with their faith, right? Because that's huge. You always ask what the person's faith is. You take that faith and you fill that hole with your faith. Don't let that negativity back in because it's been your crutch. Cases, I'll tell you, listen, I will love you enough until you can learn how to love yourself. I will tell you that from the conversations that I had with you, I love your curiosity. I love your thirst for knowledge. I love certain things about you, and we've only had a few conversations, and I can see that you are an amazing human being. Now, you need to take that curiosity. You need to be able to take the fact that you are willing to see where you are at and not loving yourself enough to love others, which is key. Because I tell somebody all the time, until you learn how to love yourself, you can't truly learn to love somebody else. You have to love yourself. And I'm glad that you acknowledge that, because that's huge. We have to love ourselves truly and fully in order to love someone else. That's the 13th commandment, by the way, that Jesus gave. But
yeah,
you can't
no Brooks. Here are your 15 crash 10
Right.
commandments.
You can't also just rely on somebody else's love, right?
Oh.
I will love you enough until you can love yourself. And I say that to Chris all the time. I will love you through this moment. We are going to learn how to love ourselves. We are going to learn to see what is great about yourself. So if you can ask people, what is it that you see in me? And you can step outside and self-reflect and say, you know what? I'm not a bad human being, right? I don't go out and I don't hurt others on purpose. Now, granted, we always hurt somebody, whether it's on purpose or not, is another question. But I don't go out and purposely hurt somebody. I tried to be a positive person and a positive, influence in somebody's life. I do X, Y, and Z. I try very hard to fake it until I make it. And that is a true thing, because you know what? We are not born with happiness. We are born with survival skills. And what are our survival skills? Feed me. I'm hungry. So I'm going to become angry. And I'm going to become hurt until I get what I need. And we have to think of ourselves as infants in these times, right? You are screaming because you are starving for something that you are lacking in your life. So what is it that you are lacking in your life? We are taught happiness. All right. I had a child who did not understand emotion. So I had to teach them what happiness was. I had to teach them that you were angry, you were sad. You know, if you look at somebody who is autistic, they have survival instincts. You have to understand that you're just in your survival instincts right now.
Yeah. I mean, fight and flight are humongous.
I will admit right now, I am still, even though I've been on a healing journey for 6 years now, I know I am still in fight or flight mode.
I mean, that's kind of equal to grief.
Mm-hmm.
There's no set time on that shit either. And everybody thinks, oh, you've got to do this. You got to go do work, go out ground, go do this, go do that, drink this herb, put this up and put your bed facing this way to get yourself out of that.
There's no magical solution.
No
You can do things to help, but we have to do the work. As
It is what you do in that moment. Yeah.
my soul shard just reminded me, there are still things that I have not seen yet. We have shown each other that we need to help each other through that healing process. And I'm going to show him all kinds of things that he has not been through, but we may show me something that I missed. And he did tonight on this show. So I have got some work to do.
You have to show him why he is worthy.
Yeah, because he's still in that what did I do thing. Dude, you did everything you needed to do. Okay? You lied. You stole. You cheated. You did this. You did that. You did everything in the fucking book. And guess what you also did from doing all that? You learned. And I'm going to teach you that you learned. And then you're going to teach me a little bit more. And then we're going to find a balance. And when we find that balance, we're going to get that last one back in. And it's going to kick our ever-loving ass. And I'm thankful I have you two to help me through that. Just saying.
I know. I'm going to go back, and Renee's probably going to laugh at me. And Keith's going to laugh at me.
I always laugh at you.
This is where my faith comes in.
I don't laugh at your faith. I'm just everybody knows.
I know. But this is
Catholic.
I giggle at your expressions.
I still have my thing. I still have my
Catholic. Yeah. No. I meant laugh, like not at me, but like okay, we knew she was probably going to go here, right? Here's the thing. That's where Jesus comes in. Jesus showed us that we may be sinners. We may be this, we may be that, but we are what? We are divine, and we are worthy. We are worthy of forgiveness. But he also said what? We have to forgive ourselves. We are worthy of love, but we have to what? Love ourselves.
Yes.
And he died showing us that. And that's a huge thing. So, that's where I go back to my faith all the time. I think of, you know what? I am worthy because Jesus told me I am worthy. Jesus showed me I am worthy.
Come on.
And that's what I take away from my faith. Like I am worthy. I am worthy to be loved. I am worthy of forgiveness.
Yes.
I am worthy. I am allowed to make mistakes.
Yes.
I am allowed to be human.
Yes.
Right?
I am more human than human.
That's right.
Shit, I'm still learning to be human.
Yes. The Shinedown song. Okay. Listen to it.
So Shinedown's my favorite band.
Me.
No, it's a country song.
You're gonna think I'm nuts, and I don't give up. If you think I'm nuts, I'm out road tripping. If you don't know what that is, that's gravel roads and a beer. Okay, I'm out road tripping. I'm talking to spirit, and all of a sudden, I have a passenger. I'm like, what in the? I had a beer. Jesus had wine. We had a good conversation. He helped me see things about myself that I couldn't see. And then he laughed at me and he took the off.
But yeah, he showed you what?
That I'm worthy.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
We are.
I'm worthy of myself. I am worthy of respect. And I can do what he says I can. He taught. He came here to teach. He said, you, to the people he was talking to, you will do the things I do and you will do more. As we awaken and we raise our vibration, we will learn how to do more. He healed, he changed, he transmuted, and that is what we do. And we are learning new ways to do that every day.
Bet girl, they didn't want you yet. Because you still have more, exactly. Your purpose is not over yet. You know, and I had this conversation with Keith the other night. I don't follow Jesus, I walk with Jesus. Hand in hand. We are not meant to be anywhere but beside Jesus.
This comment right here. When
Right.
I got in my car accident 24 some odd years ago, I broke my back, I broke my neck, my head was knocked off of my spine by a ½ inch. I should not be here. I woke up standing outside of my vehicle, looking in at my body, going, well, fuck, now what?
I
didn't see a bright light.
You say to yourself,
I didn't see a tunnel.
nope.
I was looking down at myself in that car,
Either.
out cold. I'm like, well, now what? I wasn't mad. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I was like, now what? I didn't know what to do. I'm looking around and I'm seeing the scene. And I'm seeing the cop car pull up and the ambulance pull up and the guy started walking towards the car. And all of a sudden I heard, not yet. You got work to do. And I woke up in that car and I kicked that door open that I should not have been able to. And I was on my way to kick that guy's ass. With broken back, broken neck, and decapitated essentially without it being cut off. It was off of my spine. Still here. Guess what? I had work to do. I had work to do. This is my work. This is my work. And I'm thankful.
There are so many times that I look back in my life and I can say I should have just gone. And I talked to Chris about this the other day. I drowned. By all means, I should be at the bottom of a volcanic lake right now. Yet, the person that pulled me up had no clue where I went. They had no idea, and all they saw was my hair all of a sudden come to the top. And they grabbed me by my hair and they pulled me up. By all means, I shouldn't be here. I've had a stroke. I'm 42. I've had a heart attack. I should not be here. Why am I here? I'm here so I can do this. I'm here to tell you that you're worthy. I'm here to tell you that, yes, abandonment sucks. I'm here to tell you that, yes, life is shit. Yeah, there is light at the end of that tunnel. There really is. There is a you that is worthy. And in your darkest moments when you don't think you're worthy, you're still breathing. Tomorrow is a new day. Let's wake up. Let's brush it off. Let's try again. Every day that you get, I wake up and I say, thank you. I am still here. I have another day to live through my physical pain, emotional and mental. I am here to breathe. I am here to survive. I'm here to love myself and guide and show people that they are worth that love.
And we learn as we do that. So we thank you all as well.
Yep.
We have to. And when I wake up in the morning, I get up I do my thing in the bathroom, and I get my coffee, and I tell everybody, here, good morning, everybody. And I hear, good morning. I live alone, physically, humanly, but I have my spirits, my angels, my guides, my protectors, my spirit animals, etc. Okay, I tell, including the house, I tell everybody, good morning. And then as soon as that sun comes up, I go walk to that window. I look up at the sun. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you, spirit, for another mother day. And I say it just like that, with gratitude, not in a negative way, with gratitude. That is how I start my morning every day.
Mm-hmm.
Being grateful, spirit sees that. Spirit hears that. Okay, here's something else to be grateful for.
Renee wakes up and she just pisses excellence. I know it.
It's been a. I mean, I will say I do, because I have to tell myself that I do. I was 2000 and the millennium, 2001. I mean, I went in for a simple gallbladder surgery, died on the table, was shown places, or actually was invited. Now that I look at it, I don't say I was shown. I was invited for a purpose. Invited into
Hang
the
on.
lower realm of
Hell's
pit
basement, just
fire,
say.
hell's basement. Saw what was chained to the fucking chair.
I think I saw you there, just saying.
Remember being in a cell. Remember being watching doors open, people being yanked through cell doors to the proverbial lake of fire. Me just remember standing there going, "Why am I here?" Not understanding it, but then in that moment of everything, of having that iron, which is I laughed. I tell this everybody laughs. I go, "Oh, you actually shut up for 5 minutes," because I had a metal plate over my mouth. I couldn't talk. Remember, which is funny. It is funny. The next thing I remember is, well, you've seen this down here. Would you like to come see upstairs and see what we have to offer? And I remember going, and I remember less about there than I do there. But I remember, you're not done yet. I need you. And the exact words, because I was actually found the notebook time period of my life, and it was, good and faithful soldier, you are not done yet, and I need you for my army.
That.
But just know, there will be times that we will both need you, and that's okay, because you need to be the balance. Which I was like, oh fuck, so now I'm a gray Jedi. That's what I said to myself the other day.
Two keys.
Two keys,
Renee. Two keys.
Yeah.
One up.
Yeah.
One down.
You know, we're
Jason,
shown how.
hang on, hold that thought, Jason. It's a beautiful morning here. If I just could see through my pain, I might acknowledge it. It's beautiful. Okay, take your pain. This is what I do. This is how I taught myself not to acknowledge my back and my neck pain. Because what I'm feeling right now would put anybody else in the hospital. But I get up, I go to work, I do my thing, I come home. Okay, take a piece of paper, a metaphysical piece of paper. Take that pain, mental, physical, whatever, put it in that paper. Fold it so that it cannot get out of that piece of paper.
Hold it away from you.
Put that, I'm bringing mine in because I need to do some healing. That's the thing. You can fold it away to escape it, or you can fold it in to bring it. Put that in your back pocket. You're going to save that for later. Acknowledge that beautiful morning. Okay, give yourself a small little break. Go outside, walk in the yard, barefoot, ground, feel that heat from the sun on your face, that light, make that vitamin D. Okay. Then you can get the pain back out later and look at it and heal from it if you want to later. But give yourself a break from it. You deserve a break from it.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself a break from it. That's a trick. It's a loophole. I like loopholes.
I mean, I could do one better because I live in constant pain of getting up every morning and having to just be able to walk because doctors have said, "Oh, you'll be in a wheelchair by 50." I'm 47. And I'm hell bent and determined not for that to happen.
You chew on a piece of paper?
I look at, even sometimes there's beauty in the pain. You just have to go and look for it.
We get to learn from it.
There's always something beautiful somewhere. And if you can find that one thing, that will is it transmute? No. Oh,
Transcend.
I can't think of the word.
Transcend.
Transcend, thank you. Transcend that shitty moment that you think that, oh, if I could just, I know it's a beautiful day, but damn it, I can't get past this one thing. But if I could find that one thing, that will make your day a beautiful day. It really will.
I have CRPS. It's called chronic regional pain syndrome. So you take somebody with fibromyalgia and they're here, which they say is the worst, and you put that CRPS, and I'm up here from somebody who has fibromyalgia. They call it CRIPS. Like I said, people only last 5 years with this, and I've done over 20.
Is your neck hurting?
Huh?
Is your neck hurting?
Yeah, completely.
All of us.
I remind myself that even as Jesus was carrying that cross, he took a minute to pause. All right. He took that minute to breathe. He took that minute to enjoy his suffering because he knew it was going to come to an end. And every day that I feel pain is a day that I'm still alive. And I take that with me, and I use that as my strength. That is my strength. It may tire me out. It may wear me out. It is my strength. It reminds me that I'm still breathing and I have another chance and I have another day. I appreciate that pain because it does bring me closer to Jesus.
Yes.
It brings me closer to the suffering. And as Catholics, we enjoy our suffering.
They tell you can't go to heaven unless you suffer.
Go flog yourself. Go flog yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it's Catholics are like, oh yeah, pain, bring it on. You know, like, oh, I'm not suffering enough.
We need to do this. To feel worthy, we need to have pain to feel worthy.
Right. But I take that pain and I transcend it into beauty.
Mm-hmm.
I take it and I make it into a beautiful thing. My grandson, my youngest one, comes over, and I know by the end of his visit, I am going to be on the ground. I'm going to be completely miserable. I'm not going to be able to breathe. I'm going to be doing my stretches. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. I push through that moment though to have with him, and I'm just grateful that I have built that strength to push through that pain in order to have those moments to where I can go dance with him and I can say, okay, at least I am still able to stand up and pick him up and hold his fat head close to me and squeeze him and dance around my brand new floor because he wants grandma to dance. And I take that and I just try to turn it into just something beautiful. I really do. use it as a strength. I don't try to view it as my weakness. There are moments though that I find myself on the ground. I'm not able to breathe. I'm not able to move. I'm shaking literally from head to toe, and I feel every bone in my body feels like it's crushing, and I can't breathe. It takes my breath away. I just know to get to that moment, I had a beautiful moment before that. I try to appreciate the beauty with the pain. It's you got to build that strength up, and that even comes through the emotional and the mental pain, right? Of everything.
Mhm.
I take that emotional pain and I take that mental pain, and I realize I've created something beautiful out of it,
We have. And
and I'm proud of that.
me too. I am proud that I'm still here. I'm proud that people around me are still here. I am proud that I have allowed people to leave my life that no longer needed to be in my life, and I healed from that. I am proud that made a void big enough for people that needed to be in my life had room to come into my life. Everything happens for a fucking reason. Okay.
When the door shuts,
one opens. You just have to be able to hear that hinge or see the light that's shining through it. Okay. Sometimes the light's not always on yet. You just hear the doorknob.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to go in and find the light switch.
Yep.
Okay. Walking into a dark room where you can't see nothing when you're going through hell, that's a little scary. But you might walk in there, flip that light. Oh my God, I like it. I like this.
I mean, sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life.
Yeah.
my ex-husband said it today.
And sometimes you've
Fall
got to
forward.
you have to tiptoe, but if you tiptoe, at least you make the fucking step.
He said, exactly. He said, you know what? He goes, honey, I love you. And I'm proud of you because you didn't allow yourself to fall backwards in that moment 5 years ago. You fell forward.
Yeah.
And you made that progress. He goes, you chose to fall forward. You could have easily fallen backwards. You could have easily taken your life. You could have easily gotten to drugs. You could have become an alcoholic. You could have done this. You could have done that. Instead, you took and you just fell forward. Because you fell. Absolutely. You hit rock bottom. You fell. Face first.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't land on your ass.
Yeah.
So you know what? Falling forward fucking hurts. I'll be the first one to say it. You know, it's easy to fall back on our ass, right? It's easy to land on our ass, even at our age, you know, but to fall forward and to bust everything going forward and not to put your hands out, even if you put your hands out and you try to brace yourself, you're going to break your arms, right? And you fall forward, you may freaking, as women, we scrape our boobies, right? And that hurts. You know, we fall forward and we bash our nose in if our fucking boobs are, you know, smaller than our nose. And we bash our face in, and what do we do then? We still have to pick ourselves up, but yet we are falling forward,
Not backward.
not backwards. And forward sucks and it hurts. It just means progress.
When
It's
you
like you said, hell has a basement. You have to crawl out of that basement. You are going to scrape your knees. You are going to tear your hands apart. You are just going to be covered, bloodied, and bruised, right?
yeah.
But I crawled up from the depths of hell, and here I am. And when you get out of that hell hole, are you going to fall backwards and fall back into it just to climb yourself back up? I don't suggest that ever. I suggest just to fall forward.
Okay, me going up and down my stairs with my back and my neck, the nerves. Sometimes my legs don't always function properly, and I will catch my toe on my stair and fall forward. Guess what? I didn't fall backward down the stairs. I fell forward so I could catch myself. And what do I tell myself? Pick your damn feet up, Keith. You didn't step high enough. And generally that happens when I'm going through a tough time. Pick your feet up. You got this. Get up that next step.
If you fall forward, it's easy to pull your hands up and pull yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to crawl like this. It's kind of hard to scoot yourself backwards like this, right? If you find yourself in a moment and you feel that abandonment feeling and you feel like you're overwhelmed, get that piece of paper out, write down 3 positive things. And then you know what you do the next day? You write down 3 more positive things. The next day you write down 3 more positive things that you love about yourself, that you appreciate about yourself.
I always got props.
Keep writing those things down, and all of a sudden you're going to have a fucking huge list. A huge list. And if you can't write down 3, write down 1. Give yourself credit for something. You know what? My third oldest son said this. My third born. He goes, you know what, Mom? I'm so depressed. But you know what? I saw something. You may need a shower. You don't have the energy for it. Just go wash your face and your hands.
Yeah.
Right? Next day, try washing your hair. The next day, just get in the fucking shower and do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to do it for you. He's 19 years old. I ain't going to drag his ass in the shower. I don't want to see that thing.
No. If you need to do the dishes and don't have the strength to, okay, get up, go stack them on the counter.
That's right.
Next
Go
day,
gather them.
put them in the dishwasher or wash the cups. Because what's the first thing you have to fill is your cup. So you have a clean cup. I guarantee you the next day you're going to get those dishes done. It's a mind. You have to mind yourself.
You have to
Loopholes.
trick yourself.
Okay, when I get home,
until you make it.
when I get home from work, I tell myself, okay, do 3 things. Then you can sit, then you can watch TV, then you can pet the cat and the dog and relax and rest your body because it needs it. Okay, Facebook, birthdays, boom, there's 1. Fed and water the dog and the cat. There's 2. Put my uniforms by the front door so I don't forget them in the morning because I need to take them to work so I can get my new ones and these will get washed. That's 3. I got 3 things done. Well, bonus, guess what? I'm on the show. That's 4. Did a couple other things. So when I got up here, I'm going to relax and then I'm going to bed so I can get up and go to work in the morning and feel good about myself because I got my 3 things done. 3 things. I don't care how small they are. You did 3 things. And on that note, give me a tally mark. I'll be right back.
I always.
How do you hold it so long? I don't get it.
Because we have practice.
I've had practice. I used to drink like
Okay, so if you had a body grow in you that's between 7 pounds to maybe 13 pounds,
I give you that.
that's why. That's why we have practice. Just saying.
The bathroom's right next door, so I'm going to mute my mic real quick.
Oh, we don't get to hear it.
Oh, that's nice to know. We don't have to know.
I always make my coffee the night before. I make my coffee the night before, so I wake up and I know that fresh pot of coffee is waiting for me.
Yeah.
I get up, go pee, grab that cup of coffee. I don't have to do it. I've already prepared for the next day. But before I get out of bed, or after I get out of bed, I live in the desert. We always make our bed. We don't know what creepy collies are like.
Collies that can come in, and the same thing. Check your shoes too.
Right. So I make my bed. My dad always said, make your bed. Make your bed. First thing in the morning, you get up, you make your bed. Right? That's one accomplishment for the day already. If you do nothing else, you have your bed made. And when you go to crawl in your bed that night, it's going to feel good because your bed's made. You're not going to have to untangle the sheets. It's not one more fucking thing I have to do.
Yeah.
It's not this. It's not that. Go make your bed. One step at a time, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the most important work that you will do in a day is within your own walls of your own home.
While you make your bed, you be grateful for the ability to make your bed.
Yep.
I also, a messy house. Be happy that you have kids to make your house a mess.
Mm-hmm.
That they're healthy enough to make a mess. Don't look at the mess and go, oh God, I got to clean this up. Be like, you know what? Them little shits had fun, didn't they?
Not only that, if you're worried about that, you miss those little hands. Those little hands turn to big hands like that. Enjoy the little things.
So Big O, my grandson, he loves this thing where I go outside, I'm going to smoke a cigarette, and he puts his face right up against the glass. And you can walk by my door and you see his little face mark, where he's blown into it and blown up his cheeks. And I'm on the other side and I'm doing the same thing because I'm just crazy like that. I wonder who taught him, Grandma.
Mm.
Well, yeah, you know what? I had just had Derek, okay? That and I drank a lot then. Thank you very much. Once you break the seal, you break the seal. Let's not talk about cherry tap out, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm grateful for that. I'm not going to get all freaked out because his handprints are all over everything. I'm just going to look at it and be grateful that he was there to make those handprints. If you don't have kids, you don't have a significant other, be grateful that you do. You have a bed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Be grateful that you have those dishes. Be grateful that you have that food. Be grateful that you can make that mess, right? And you know what? On that note, add a tally mark to me.
Okay.
I broke the seal, and now you got to go. See, that is how spiritually connected we are.
Yeah, I'm hurting too.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm sitting here rubbing my leg. So if I'm sitting here like wiggling, I'm like,
Fine.
I got to go get that surgery.
Does your neck feel better?
Yes, it's just right here now. Because you're a pain in my ass, Keith, right here.
I'm sure that's not the first time he's heard that. Or the last.
Nope.
Or the last.
It has been a deep-seated emotional discussion tonight. I think for many people.
Yes.
Not just for us. This has been emotional for me. And it has helped me. And I appreciate everybody allowing us to tell our stories because that helps us to heal. The thoughts come up. We speak them. Okay. Voice is vibration. It comes out. It hits our ears, which vibrates. And then hits our conscious and our subconscious so it can work even further. So talk to yourself, but in a good way. Even thinking to yourself, oh my God, today's Monday. It's going to suck. Guess what? It's going to suck. Okay, you know what? It's Monday. It's the beginning of a week. I have a new beginning. Thank you. Let's rock this. Thoughts. Positive ones, not negative ones. Change your way of thinking. It takes practice, but you can do it.
I'm grateful for Mondays. It's one day closer
Friday.
to Jesse coming home.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
He gets up and he leaves Monday morning. I'm grateful he has a job to go to. I'm grateful he gets there. And it's just one day closer to when he's going to be home. You know what day I dread? Fridays.
Friday.
Why? Because I know he's going to come home, and that's just one day closer to when he has to leave again.
But you
so for me, it's the opposite. I get excited on Saturdays when I get that phone call. I'm coming home and I'm happy to see him. Yet I'm sad in my heart because I know it's just he'll be leaving soon again. Right. But I'm grateful. Yeah, I am grateful. Not but yeah, I'm grateful that he is coming home and I get that chance to see him because I know that other people working the line don't get to see their spouse. They
Right.
could be thousands of miles away from their spouse. So I'm grateful that I get to see him.
Yes.
It is definitely all about the way that you think. Like, okay, for example, like I woke up this morning and I was like, oh God, it's Monday. My kids are in Colorado having the time of their lives, little shits.
At a resort.
Right. I'm out of sort. Like I don't know what to do. I have no kids to nag. So I nag the fucking dog. Well, actually she nags me and I get annoyed with her and I'm like, just go outside, you know.
You had peace that felt like boredom.
I absolutely I get so excited. I'm like, oh yeah, the kids are going. Yeah. And then 3 days later, I'm like,
What do I do now?
Weena? Nate? Weena? Nader?
Yep.
I don't have anybody to annoy. I'm going to call Chris.
You can annoy us. You can annoy me and Renee. We don't mind.
Well, just
Renee's summer's almost over with.
no.
It's just starting.
No. I have to go back till end of August. But I mean, next week I won't be around. I have to deal with 15 boys.
You don't have to. You get to. Love you, girl. You don't have to.
Oh, I know.
You get to.
Oh, I guess
She's
Yeah.
obligated to.
Change the way you
I
think. Thank you for that lesson.
I miss
I do the
boys.
same.
I miss the stink. I miss getting into my vehicle and smelling football and feet or wrestling and feet.
You don't want to smell my feet.
Doesn't bother me. I had a house full of 22 kids and all of them had stinky feet. I miss stinky feet unless
Although
it's athletes.
men, and some women, men. Okay. There's a product out there. No, you're good. You're good. That it's called Tinactin liquid spray. You spray that on your feet, and guess what it does? It kills the fungus. The fungus is what caused the smell. Okay.
Well,
Especially if the bottoms of
go
your
one
feet are orange, that is a specific kind of bacteria. And it cures it, and the stink goes away.
You just pee on your feet. You're in the shower, just pee on your feet.
Yeah, in the shower, that helps too. It's a thing. It really is.
I mean, there's other things you can do. I mean, if that's the problem, that your feet are a major organ, so therefore,
Well, your hands and your feet
that means your body's not doing so well.
have so many pores in them. It eliminates the toxins, but it also exerts the energy.
Keith,
Okay.
do you need Lumi?
What?
Lumi? Lumi doesn't work. I have a 17-year-old kid. That did not work on my kid.
I don't know what Lumi is.
It's an all over odor eater spray.
Oh, okay. Oh, the body deodorant, the crack deodorant, the butt crack deodorant. Okay, I got this. Touche, El Pussycat. Hey, thanks for joining. We're in a giggle fest right now. Everybody needs fucking giggles right now, okay? We have dealt with so much abandonment in our lives. We need giggles. Okay?
You know what? Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. You want to walk out? Walk out.
And see, that's the advantage that
Please
guys
make
have.
room.
That's the advantage that guys have over girls. We only have We were only split once. Y'all were split twice.
Listen,
But we like
Y'all
it.
are
We
just-
were saying,
and y'all are all just jealous because you're not. So there's that.
maybe.
listen.
Mm-hmm.
Us girls may be split from top to fucking bottom, but when that door hits your backstop, if you catch my drift, it hurts a lot worse. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I'm just leaving it out there. But no, honestly, I look at it that way. You want to leave, you want to abandon, you know, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Please make room.
And guess what? And if you come back, that door may not be there anymore.
That.
Like Monsters Inc.
Okay. Okay, that.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that you needed to do this for yourself, but that made me feel this way. And I don't think I can ever be the same person for you again. Even if you learn and you heal, I'm a different person than I was then. If you try to come back, you are going to meet this new version of me, and you are going to have to make your decision on if you are willing to accept me where I'm at now. And you helped me get to this point. So thank you for that growth. But I went from here to here. Thank you for that. But now you're here to here, and you are talking to me here. There's still a difference. So we need to figure that out. Either it's going to happen or it's not. But have that conversation.
Nobody can make me
honest. Go ahead.
I'm going to sound like a cocky bitch right now. Okay.
Did you say copy bitch or coffee bitch?
Cocky.
Oh, cocky.
Cocky.
Boing.
No motherfucker is going to make me feel any way. I get to choose how I feel.
That every day
you don't get to make the choice on how I feel. So with that being said, you have a choice in how you feel about it. Don't blame it on the other person. You allowed yourself to feel this way. You need to own it. Plain and simple. Okay? Plain and simple. Jesse ain't going to make me feel one way about something or another about something. He can give me his opinion. He can state something. But if he hurts my feelings, it's only because I allowed him to hurt my feelings.
That.
All right?
We get to choose our emotions.
I will choose whether or not. You don't let anybody ever have that control over you. I made that mistake for 40 years. All right? I let that make me feel like I had to, right?
Including myself.
I will not allow anybody else to hurt me. And it's not because I'm too good for them. Maybe I am. Maybe I am too good for you. Maybe, just maybe, you're not worthy. I know I am worthy of me. I love me. And I'm not going to let you determine how I feel about myself. Yes. I take that control back. I can't control anything else around me. Right? I mean, Chris and I have this conversation all the time. You cannot control somebody else. You cannot tell somebody else what to do. You can't do this. You can't do that. The only person you can tell what to do is yourself. And you need to take control of yourself. You need to take control of your feelings. You need to take control of your emotions. And you need to take your control back. Because the only thing in life that you can control is you, your outcome, and how you are going to feel about it. So I am not going to let anybody hurt me ever again. I don't care if it's my own children. I don't care if it's my grandchildren. I will love you till my dying day. Yeah, I will not let you tell me how to feel, and I will not let you control me. So you may walk out the door. That doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and fucking cry about it. Plain and simple. You go do you, boo.
Yeah. If somebody tells you, this is how I feel about this situation, don't look at them and tell that other person, no, that's not how you feel. This is how you feel. Because you need to be in control of the situation. this person is being open and honest with you.
Mm.
This is how I feel about what just happened. Can
This
we
is how
work
it
on
made me
this?
feel. Yeah.
Okay, this is where it put me. I'm being vulnerable with you. Can we talk about this? Don't look at them and tell them, no, that's not how you feel. This is how you feel to fit your narrative. Listen to that person. Feel where they are at in order to communicate, learn, and grow. Child, coworker, spouse, don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to how they feel.
Okay. I can sit down and I can say, Keith, you know what? In this situation, I felt this way. These are my reasons why I felt this way. Right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't appreciate this. I don't like the spot that you put me in. But ultimately, I have that control, right? I allowed you into my space. I trusted you.
That,
Now I'm letting you know that you were breaking my trust,
that,
and I cannot have this,
that.
right? You need to be open and honest about the way it made you feel. But in the end, if somebody walks away from you, if somebody does you harm, don't let that control you.
Yes.
You have the choice whether or not to walk away from it. And that's another thing that I learned from abandonment is I can't control obviously the other person, right? Yeah, I'm not going to let him have that control over me. I'm not going to let him make me feel like I'm not worthy. I'm not going to let my womb donor make me feel like I'm not worthy. I'm not going to let my whatever sperm donor make me feel like I'm not worthy. I'm not going to let my kids make me think that I'm not worthy because I know that I'm worthy. And they can, if they feel like I'm not worthy, then I feel like that's on them. They feel that way. It's up to them to fix. Now, if you were in a relationship, you need to respect the other person's boundaries. Obviously, there's no goes, whether that is a spouse, whether that is a child, whether it is this, and you know that they have issues. It is up to you not to cross that because it may be a trigger point. But ultimately, it's the other person that causes it the trigger point. Does that make sense?
Yes.
They're the ones with the trigger. Yes, the other person may have their finger on it and they may pull it back, but you can get rid of that trigger. You can let go of those things. That post-traumatic can be broken.
Pull my finger in the ultimate way. Renee,
Right.
your thoughts?
Thoughts? Lots of thoughts. I mean, ultimately, I mean, you do really have to love yourself. And you have to love yourself enough to be able to heal yourself and walk away from that situation. I mean, you have to give, I mean, ouch. I mean, you have to do it. And sometimes it's going to be a shitty, nasty, dirty job, but you've got to do it to do it.
Mhm.
Not wrong. Speaking of,
If you want better, choose better. It's like I know.
Speaking of dirty, nasty jobs that we don't want to do, I'm gonna have to go to bed soon. It's almost 10 o'clock already. This night has flown
Yes.
by.
Oh man, we've almost been on for 3 hours.
Yeah, and everybody has stayed with us, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
We learn from you just as much as you learn from us. So thank you. We do this to help you. We dissect our lives openly and honestly in order to help others. And I'm proud of myself and of these two that we are able to do that. We have that much strength in ourselves, and you have to have that much strength in yourself to help each other and other people.
Yep.
So everybody is watching and will watch in the future get up when this is over and go look in the mirror, not only at yourself, but within yourself. And don't just glance, really look. Okay, open your eyes. All three of them. You got three. Open all three of them. Look at yourself and ask yourself, is this where I need to be?
And
then
if
listen. You'll hear an answer. And then allow yourself to think, allow yourself to hear. You'll learn, you'll grow, and all of a sudden life's going to be different. But you might go through repeating cycles. Okay, you might start here and get to here, and then all of a sudden you get dropped back down to here in that same cycle, but yet things are different because you've grown. So you're going to be able to get back up a little faster. Okay. Okay. I sorry. I just giggled. It just Scorpio brain is hitting, just saying, thanks.
Keith, you are self-rising.
Not wrong.
On that note,
just remember, you guys are divine.
We
You're
are.
worthy.
All
You're
of us.
worthy of forgiving yourself. You are worthy of loving yourself. You are worthy of the best that you can give to yourself. And doing that, you will find peace.
Yes.
I promise you will find peace. And you will be able to overfill your cup, and you will be able to fill other people's cups and to do what we do. And it's a daily thing. We have to fill our cups daily. It's
Every
not
day.
like, oh, well, shit, my cup's running low a year from now. No, I fill my cup daily,
Every day.
so that I can overflow my love for everybody else. And I can truly say from the bottom of my heart and my whole soul, I love every single one of you guys where you're at. And I'm proud of you guys for making it through this day. And I'm going to be proud of you for waking up in the morning. And you are never alone. Even if you feel abandoned, you are not alone. You have a group. You have someone. And if you don't, and they may not be physically there, but just know that you have us. I'll speak for Keith and Renee. You have us. So you're not alone in this.
We are here for you. Chris? That would be the root chakra.
Don't even get me started on her root chakra.
And we can repair that if you would like to. So this weekend, sometime between now and this weekend, get with me and Jan, and we'll figure a time for me to break out the bitch slappers.
Oh, can I?
And we'll work on you together.
Give me her root.
Not like that.
Give me her root.
Not like that.
Renee did not take it that way. You took it that way.
Oh no, she's hiding that giggle. There it is. I told you she's hiding that giggle. That smile. Okay.
on that note, I gotta jump.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
So love you all. Know that. Remember, you're worthy. You are loved. You are healing.
Yes.
Remember those three.
I love you, Renee.
I love you guys too. Bye, everybody.
On that note, I'm gonna hit the ending video. I am not gonna play the whole thing, but I'm gonna hit it so I can say I hit it, and then we're off. Stay on for just a few seconds, ladies, and we'll finish our conversation.
You are alone time.
I am in. No, I'm not gonna say it. No.
I have to get off totally. So call here.
Okay. All right.
So all right.
Bye. Night.
Bye.
Night.